When last we were reading along with our intrepid historian, we covered the beginnings of sex regulation in the Holy Roman Empire. Today, we'll be looking at pages 27 through 45 as Viennese sex bursts into the modern age. And what better place to begin than with Maria's description of none other than the famous Lothario, Giacomo Casanova, who ended up in Vienna off and on after his final expulsion from Venice.
Oh, yeah.
His time in Vienna coincided with the imposition of Maria Theresa's laws codifying sexual behavior. And the practiced lover was somewhat less than impressed with the institutionalization of sexual surveillance. But to be fair, since archaeological discoveries have found a likely Roman house of prostitution literally right in front of the Habsburg Palace, watching and regulating people's sex lives may have been more of a custom than a new aberration. But unlike Maria Theresa, who spent her time trying to eliminate sex as a hobby, the Roman government actually sponsored the brothels in what was then known as Vindobona, right down to mandating the clothing worn by various classes of professional ladies. The lowest class were quite easily distinguished in their green togas, red booties, and blonde wigs. I'm sure the effect was quite stimulating in those days, but to be honest, it puts me in the mood for Christmas movies. Medieval prostitutes in Vienna had to wear a yellow scarf, and quite unlike his distant descendant, Maria Theresa, Rudolph I actually supported the sex trade during his reign. It gathered quite a lot of taxable income, you see. His nearest progeny seemed to agree with him. The trade flourished and developed some wonderful euphemisms, such as flower stores, where pollinating took place in the back. But when the reign of Maximilian I rolled around, things utterly changed. Prostitution was outlawed, and successive rulers came up with more and more severe punishments for the business of sex, culminating in Maria Theresa and her criminal code. Of course, her criminal code took effect at an interesting time, 3 years after the death of her husband, who, although he loved his wife, was also renowned for his sexcapades. An empress is still a woman after all, and a powerful one at that. Things might have gone much better for Casanova if he had managed to visit while Emperor Francis I was still alive. The two would probably have had a grand old time, and much to talk about. And it's equally likely that Maria Theresa would not have appreciated their conversations at all.
Ew!
Casanova did, according to one Belgian prince, meet Maria Theresa's son, Emperor Joseph II. The two bandied words, and Joseph did not come out the winner in the duel of repartees. It's rather unfortunate, because the two men certainly had quite a bit to talk about concerning the opposite sex. Our journey through salacious Vienna is just getting started, and there is so much more to learn and see. Luckily, we had Maria to play history detective, and things start getting very juicy next week when we go over pages 46 to 70 of Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll in Habsburg Vienna. In the first few pages, Maria laid the background. And next, we'll be talking specifics about the earliest Habsburg rulers and the interesting things that made them tick. And more info for those reading along with us. If the stories of sex in Habsburg times have piqued your interest, Maria not only wrote the book, but she leads the tours, and you can join her in investigating all the lurid and wonderful sights she describes in Viennese history. It all had far more influence on current events than you might think.
Oh, I love it!